everyone, it's Tammy Pally, aka the Crafty Princess and Doll Collector, and this is a long-awaited, for some of us, like myself, yarn and dollies video. I haven't done one of these in quite a while, and I have lots of yarny stuff and dolly stuff to show you today because today is all about acquisitions. Christmas just finished up. Today is December 30th, 2017, and of course we have the new year starting, and then before that, in November, I had a birthday, and so this is an accumulation of acquisitions probably over about a 3-month period. So if it seems like a ton, keep that in mind. It's over a number of months, and some of which were gifts from people because of my birthday and Christmas. And starting off with, I'm going to do yarn first because, as you can see, I'm in the yarny mode here. One of the yarny gifts I acquired recently is on my Swift right now, and it is some gorgeous baby alpaca, chunky, from Plymouth Yarns. I have never used Plymouth Yarns before, but it's interesting that a number of people gifted me yarn from this company this time, and I didn't even, I mean, I vaguely heard of them before, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, I guess because they both, these people did go to yarn shops, and so this is something I think you find at most yarn shops. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I have a couple of craftsy knitting classes in my queue that require chunky yarn, so this might work for some of them. This will definitely be used. In fact, I'm thinking I might even make something for the person who gifted it to me and send it back to her. I thought that might be fun because she lives in a cold climate. So that's one yarn acquisition. Another yarny acquisition is, again, Plymouth Yarns. My Tapping Flamingo Bling sister sent me this skein, and it is, again, it's also Plymouth Yarns, and it is fingering weight nylon merino wool, I believe. And what is it's called Crayon is the colorway, Crayon. And I've already started, it's in a project bag. I got this from Lorelei Irto. She has a podcast, and so you can check her out on YouTube. But I've already started. I'm going to make some just really simple garter stitch fingerless gloves, and I'm going off a very basic pattern that was free, by the way, on the Plymouth Yarn site. So definitely check out if you're into knitting and crochet. They have quite a few free projects on there. I'm going to go by this pattern to a certain extent, but just simplify it with just making it garter. So yes, that's in the works. In Florida, for me, fingerless gloves are great. Not everybody appreciates them, but I like them because they're not super heavy, and I like to have a pair, you know, like in my car. A couple, I even wear them sometimes to bed if it's really cold, because we usually almost never run the heat. And then I also purchased some yarn recently from Madeline Tosh. I got sport weight yarn. This was all super duper low price cut. I mean, I think it was like 50% off even. It was pretty low, so for Madeline Tosh. And I bought this yarn with the idea of making items for the homeless. I do quite a bit of charity knitting and crochet. In particular, I like to send stuff to streetknits.org. Streetknits.org has a Facebook page and a website now, and they collect items for the homeless and then pass them out to homeless shelters in Michigan. And I've gotten to the point where I don't really like to work with cheapo acrylic yarn anymore. Nothing against people who do that. If I did for many years, but just the feel of it is not something pleasant for me. And even though there are some nice acrylic yarns out there, there's a lot that are not nice. And so what I've decided to do, I don't want to necessarily spend, $30 on a skein of yarn to send it, to make an item for someone I don't know and then send it off. But I realized that a lot of times you can find sales for wool yarn that's still nice yarn, like I did with this. And that way I get to use nice pretty yarn, and I get it to people who could use it. So I really just didn't even care about the color so much, but this is what I ended up getting. They're all sport weight. They're all enough to maybe knit a hat and or like a little scarfette, something like that. So I got this, which I'm already obviously making here. And this is just like a triangular shawlette where you start with 3 stitches and you increase as you go up. And so I got this and this and this, okay? And I think with shipping and everything, all 4 skeins came to like less than $30. So considering I will get enjoyment out of using the yarn and making something with it, hours of pleasure, and then I get to gift it to somebody and it'll be like 4 items when I'm done, I think that's money well spent. So I also, a while ago, purchased this from, it's called Ephemera. It's a, what do you call it? It's a silk and wool blend fingering weight from this company, Expressions Fiber Art, which I am addicted to her yarn. And I got some of this and I really liked the color and everything, but it's very, you know, like it's not a good color for me because it basically blends into my skin. So she had a big sale over Christmas and I got this to go with it, which is called Pinot Noir. And it's also made out of the same, you know, I think it's called a pearlescent base, she calls it, which, like I said, is got some silk in it. So together, in fact, together I could probably make a really nice scarf or shawl of some kind for me, because this is super soft and squishy. And what else did I get? Also during that same sale, I got some sport weight yarn. What I'm wearing, in fact, is made out of sport weight, her luster base, which is got tinsel in it, so it's really, really soft. This is it's a cowl, and it's one of those that are asymmetrical. It's called the Hotel of Bees shawl. I did it during a crochet along. I really like it, but I will say it's kind of odd. It's more like you got to wrap it around your neck a lot. This is about the only way I figured out how to wear it. It's kind of an odd shaped thing to wear, but I'm going to make a really big shawl, not like this one, but I'm going to make a really big shawl using, this is her Russian blue colorway, and this is called Typewriter. And this is little. I have more of this, but I had to break it up because I messed it up when I got it all knotted, so I had to cut it. But I have quite a bit of this, and I'm going to use that to make a really large shawl, a crochet shawl, similar to this one. This is using a ripple stitch, okay? And I made this a really long time ago, and I've used it quite a bit. And a couple of weeks ago, we had a cold snap here. I live in Florida, and I just threw it on when I was running out the door. I didn't realize how cold it was, and I started to go outside and realized, oh, it's pretty cold. So I grabbed it, threw it on. Well, what was nice is I realized when you know, from the house to the car, it gets cold, and from the car to your office, it's cold. But in the car, it gets pretty warm. And if you've ever been in that situation where you're all layered up, and you get to the point where you're just burning up in your car, and then you have to take your, arms out of your sweater and all that kind of thing. With this, I was just able to like take it off, set it aside, and then when I drive, and then before I got out of the car, wrap myself in it, get to my office. Actually, I was going to a meeting, go to the meeting, take it off. Okay, so I thought, boy, it would be handy if I had something like this, only bigger, that was almost like a cape, something that would cover my, backside. And so yeah, so that's what I'm going to make for me with that yarn. And then I have one other acquisition. Again, I bought this. She has a really big sale. This is called Traveler, and it is a regular fingering weight. The base is merino nylon, and I got enough. I got 3 skeins of this, and I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not even going to show you the pattern unless you're dying to know. But I got a pattern off of Ravelry, a free pattern. It was from some company, and I don't remember the name of the company. I don't think, was it Plymouth again? Plymouth? Anyway, I'm going to make a type of vest with it. Not a granny type vest, hopefully. Hopefully it's not going to look like that. So that is what is planned for that. And yes, I have been making a lot of stuff. I know I got a lot of yarn here, and I'm just showing you yarn. I have tons of finished objects, but Maybe I will show those in a, future yarn and dollies, but I thought it would just be fun just to show acquisitions, since this time of year many of us have yarn and dolly and crafting and other types of acquisitions. So yeah, so that's kind of it for the yarn portion. I'm going to stop here, stop the camera, move stuff around a little bit so I can get my dolly stuff over here. All right, I'm back for the dolly portion. And this is staying up because I'm not done with it yet. And if anybody's ever used one of these before, you know what I'm talking about when I say that once you have it up, you wind all the yarn you can stand to wind, and then you put it away because it takes up a lot of room. And every time I take this out and use it, it's like I have to remember, relearn how to use it all over again. So yeah, so that's staying up. And yeah, onto the dollies, okay? So as some of you probably have seen a previous video I did where I showed, this is my first, what I consider a customized Blythe doll. She's Neo size. And so I did some limited work on her. I won't go over that because, I already talked about it in the other video, but I'm just showing her because it's kind of a way to introduce why you're going to see the next batch of goodies that I purchased. Around November 11th, AliExpress had a massive sale. All of the stores had big sales, and lots of discounts, 20%, 25% off, 30%, on and on. So since again it was around my birthday time, I thought, well, this is a good time to buy stuff so that when I have a chunk of time, probably this summer, to really try to expand on the idea of customizing a doll by, for example, carving a face, which I did not do on this girl. This girl, I just did the sleepy eyes. So I thought, well, now would be a time to go ahead and buy, a few more things. And as I collect, I have a lot of crafting stuff already. I mean, I have colored watercolor pencils, and I've had pastels for years that I've used for various items, a lot of paper crafting, stuff like that. So I have a lot of stuff, so I need to go through everything and see what I have, and put together like all the stuff that I need to do my first doll as far as carving and everything. And I am not going to actually, I thought about just going ahead and buy, I do have another doll similar to her. Again, I've shown her on another video, and I took her apart already and used some of her parts to fix stuff on her that I goofed up. But I thought, if I carve, I don't really feel comfortable buying a doll for that, for the purposes of carving, because probably I'm going to screw that up. I've already anticipated that. So what I did instead during this sale is I bought a faceplate, and this took forever to come, by the way. I ordered it, like I said, it was to the 11/11 sale. This was through Blythe Homes, and she did email me and ask me to extend the length of time for it to arrive by a week, because she said she was inundated with sales, which I guess is a good thing. So this actually just came a few days ago, okay? But what's nice is I wasn't completely sure what I was going to get, So I got what I thought was just going to get the faceplate, but I've got the front and the back, and the screws in the T-bar were also included inside the little head, okay? So yeah, so now I have my first faceplate to sand and carve and destroy and just figure out what I'm doing, hopefully. And this might turn into a doll at some point. Obviously, there's many other parts to this doll, like eye mechanisms. So this is just my throwaway practice, do whatever I want to, faceplate to see if this is something I really want to get into to a certain extent. Additionally, I bought some bodies, some dolly bodies. I got another Like a Doll body. This girl is wearing one that I purchased previously from Blythe Homes. And as I already mentioned, I didn't really like, it's not that noticeable now, I guess, but if you see these bodies, this girl's been riding a horse a long time. She got some bow legs. This girl's wearing the same type body, and it looked just like this. I did kind of like squish her legs together and stuff, so, because there's wire inside of the legs, so maybe there's some hope for this one. But I wasn't, super keen on the first Like a body I bought from Blythe Homes, but I thought, well, let me try buying one more. I really have not found a place to get a Leica body without actually buying a Leica doll. And I kind of hesitate to do that because sometimes they're not that cheap. I did find, I think, was it JP Japan, Hobby Japan, they had some actual Leica dolls that were around $15 to $20. But, you know, then I know I'm going to fall in love with the doll. Now, what, I'm just going to rip the head off? You know, I don't know. So I thought, let me give Blythe Helms one more try. See if I like the body. Maybe they're not all bow-legged, but nope, they're all pretty much bow-legged. So, again, I'm going to try to, like, you know, work on the legs a little bit, squish them together. So I got that. Additionally, I got another body. This is a, I tried to find what, they just called it an A-zone, but it's not, I don't know really, I thought it was kind of like an extra small A-zone, but it's similar. It's called a Fortune Day body. Obviously, it's a knockoff of a real, you know, A-zone body, but this is smaller in the chest. I guess I should have warned you, dolly nudity ahead, okay? You can see this is not, it's from the waist up, it's smaller than, again, here comes dolly nudity, than this girl's body, which is a regular Fortune Day body. All right, so, but the bottom part, honestly, from the waist down, they look very similar in size to me. I think they're exactly the same. And there's even, you know, you can see there's a line right here where they put the bodies together, the torso together. So, anywho, yeah, maybe I'll put a picture in here, but here's all these bodies. Like, okay, here's a regular Takara. Fake. I think this is a fake, yeah, because I never take the real ones apart. I mean, I do take the real ones apart. Sometimes I have, but I try not to. So this was a regular, in fact, yeah, it was her body. So it was my custom doll. This was her regular body. So this is a normal, you can see the hands kind of go out like this a little bit. Here's a Leica. Here's the small Fortune Day. And then here is the bigger Fortune Day. Her tatas are bigger. But anyway, I just wanted some options. I'm curious to see a doll on this little body. I thought it was actually going to be smaller all over, not just the top part. I thought the hips would be smaller and everything, but not the case. So, but this is fun. So now I have four different bodies to kind of play around with. And again, you know, they were 25 or 30% off when I got them, so that was kind of nice. So another thing I've been curious about for a long time are the midi dolls. I've actually looked at the stock midis. They don't come out a whole lot. They're not, I mean, the Neos, boy, the stock Neo Blythe dolls, they're popping them out constantly. I mean, it's probably, well, I know it's at least once a month, if not more often, that they have a new release out. Obviously, those are the most popular, but then again, you know, I kind of wonder, like, well, the midis aren't super popular, but, you know, they don't have very many of them. So if they were going to be popular, you can't hardly get them. And they're really, the cost of the midi dolls are not significantly less than the Neo. And I understand that, you know, just because a doll is smaller doesn't mean it should cost less because there's more going on. But I don't know, I kind of feel like the midis should, because they don't have the complicated eye mechanism that a Neo does. So I think they should be significantly less. And I just honestly have not seen a midi stock doll that I've thought, wow, yeah, I like it enough to pay X amount for. But I've been curious, so as you can imagine, that meant buying a knockoff, buying a fakey midi, because I was just like, what, you know, how big are they compared to a regular Blythe, and, you know, are they that cute? And yeah, they're pretty darn adorable. I have not done anything to these dolls. I've got two midis I recently purchased. I'm going to show you the other one in a minute. Their hair, this hair is greasy, which is unusual for a, you know, for a fakie. Usually they have great hair. So her hair's, I'm going to need to wash it, but it's not too bad. It's very long. I did buy her with the idea that I would probably, you know, trim it off a little bit. I don't know if I'll actually give her a bob. She might be cute with a bob. But I will definitely trim it off and wash it and stuff. It's quite greasy. These come nude, so I bought this outfit for her because I'm not to the point. I am sewing now, of course, for my Neos, but I just didn't want her sitting around being naked. and you know, the outfit was super cheap. So and in fact, this doll, I did not get her during the sale, but she was like some special price doll and everything. So she was, I want to say she was like $35 or something, and that included shipping. So that's not too bad. So here are her little green eyes. There is a dial in the back. If you don't know, the middies have a dial. So this is all they do. Their eyes just go back and forth. They don't change colors. They have one set of eye chips that go back and forth. And it works well. And I mean, I do think she's pretty adorable. She's on a movable body. I noticed too with Blythe Homes, at least, they optioned, because they're normally, the stock middies have similar bodies to the Neos, where they're the legs bend, but they're not really jointed. But maybe because they don't sell as well, I don't know. Blythe Homes at least did not have a lot that were on a stock type of body. They were almost all jointed. So, you know, I went ahead and went with that. She doesn't have any panties. I need to definitely make those for her. But otherwise, this is a little shirt and a skirt with little suspender thingies, socks and boots. And I don't think it's going to be super difficult to make clothes for them. But like I said, I knew I wasn't going to get to it right away. So for $10, I bought her an outfit so she's not sitting around naked. So that's the first one. And you'll notice her face is shiny. The second one I got, this is when they had the big sale. And her face is matte, which I don't remember that was, you know, maybe it said that in the description, but I was surprised when I found it. Was matte. Her hair, again, I haven't really done anything to. It's pretty funky, not real bad. I mean, I haven't even combed it. So I have a feeling when I comb it, it'll make a huge difference. It's a little bit greasy, so both these girls are probably going to get a little spa. Her eyes, again, just do the back and forth thing. And I got her just a little dress. She's also going commando, and I didn't get her any shoes. I don't remember why. I didn't. But yeah, I gotta say, these dolls are really, really cute. And I would be very tempted to buy a stock doll at some point if there's one that appeals to me, both as far as visually and financially. But most of them, I want to say, most of the stock middies are in the 100 plus, like, I think, you know, if not more, obviously, as they, you know, less. When you don't have as many of the older ones, the price goes up, just like with the Neos. But I think I've seen them for like 120-ish. But I haven't, you know, I gotta love the doll. Even if it's $30, I gotta love the doll. Okay, so I just haven't seen any of the stock that they're cute. If they were $50, I would probably be more inclined. But for twice that, if not more, I'm kind of like, you know, especially when, you know, some of the, like, they had a recent Peony, what is her name? There's a new stock Neo coming out in February that was priced around $160. So, you know, that's a Neo with changing eyes and everything. And that, you know, so if I'm going to spend 120, 130, if, you know, or so on a midi who doesn't have eyes that change, I would rather have, you know, the Neo. So I think they're overpriced. I mean, actually, the Neos are overpriced too. But if they're trying to really get a market for the middies, they need to be significantly less than they are selling now, I think. That's my personal opinion. Take it for what it is. But these little girls are super cute. And definitely, like, if I had... I have some nieces and stuff that maybe when they get older, I could see them playing with these little dolls. They're still, like, I think the oldest is 3, so this might be a little young, especially because she's got, you know, if you have a 3-year-old, she has a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, the 1-year-old's obviously going to play with these too, right? So when they get a little older, I mean, I could see if you had a, you know, maybe 6 years old, 5 or 6 year old on up, these would be super perfect, I think, because you wouldn't have to worry about pulling the string and breaking it or anything like that. They're still pretty sturdy dolls, you know, that you could do stuff with. And I've heard that people like these too if you like to go, you know, take your doll out and take photographs and stuff, because they're so small they can fit into like a little pocket in your purse. Speaking of, here's a comparison height-wise. I guess we'll take this girl back here. So you can see, now this is on a Leica body, but, you know, they're quite a bit smaller than the Neo. Here's their heads together. In fact, we'll take this little nudie girl here. You can see that might be a better, because she also has a movable body. So yeah, they're significantly smaller. And but yeah, I'm gonna wash their hair, and as I start sewing some more stuff, I gotta put all this yarn away, but I do have plans to sew some more doll clothes. I will definitely try to whip up a few things, especially some undies for these girls. You probably hear my dogs barking. It's dinner time here. It's dinner time at the Pally house, at least for the puppies. So they get very excited. And my husband's feeding them, so I'm not ignoring them. But yeah, so yeah, that's quite a bit of dolly stuff, I think, and yarny stuff. And yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up then for this yarn and dollies, and hopefully you found it fun. And I'd like to hear from you. Are you doing any yarn work lately? Are you crocheting or knitting or weaving or whatever it is? And tell me about your dolls, especially like I said, I'm really interested in these middies now. So if you have any stock middies that you think are like the cutest ever, maybe when I see a stock one in person, I could have an understanding of the cost value, but I'm not ready to go there yet. So we'll see. Maybe there'll be some cute new releases out in 2018 that will tempt my pocketbook to open. But right now, the little fakies, yeah, I do. You know, this is kind of how I started with Neos. Is I bought a fake one, then I bought another fake one, and then I was like, I think I'll buy a real one. And I could see the tangible difference between the two. But what's nice about, you know, the Blythe hobby is that you can, if you're not ready to spend the big bucks on the stock dolls, a good way to enter it is through the fake ones, and then you can decide whether or not you feel it's worth it to add a stock one, you know, to your collection or not. But it's a nice way to kind of test the waters without spending tons of money. And if there's any haters out there about fakies, you know, I'm sorry. I don't think there's a real issue with it. If anything, I think Takara's in on it. So, and I won't say any more about that because I've already talked about that before in other videos. So, yeah. So I'm looking forward to 2018 and doing more videos for you guys. If you have anything specific you'd like me to cover, of course, always feel to add that in the comments. Or, you know, a lot of you guys see me on Facebook and stuff, and Instagram. So, you know, you can always tell me over there. I think actually I talked to most of you guys over on Facebook. So anyway, have a wonderful 2018 and a wonderful dolly day and yarny day and crafting day. And thank you. I always appreciate you guys stopping by. See you later. So here's a quick video just showing the bodies. I'll insert this maybe at the end, but I thought you guys might find this interesting if you've been curious about the difference in these different type of Blythe doll bodies.